Ladies and gentlemen, no intro for today's video. We're just going to get right into it. So there have been people that have asked, why this particular issue? Why are you doing so many videos? Why do you seem to care about this? And the truth is, I don't. I don't care what you think about Nintendo, positive or negative. I don't care if you want to complain about the price, whether you think that it's a fair price or whether you think it's an unfair price. You're perfectly fine to do that. My issue, my anger, really comes from the slop tubers, the low IQ, lazy misinformation peddlers that put out clickbait headlines because they don't have the skill or the charm or the charisma to get an audience to watch on their own. So they have to try to emotionally manipulate them into getting them to click on their content. These people, I do have an issue with because in this video from Angry Joe, for example, and trust me, he's not the only one, he gets nearly everything wrong as he's going on his tirade. And that is a problem. Because when you're putting out so much misinformation, there are going to be people who repeat that, who reiterate that, who come to my channel and want to argue with me about things that have been debunked and disproven already. I mean, in the span of a couple of days. One of the first ones was that there was going to be a price disparity between the digital and physical. You see the $90 price point, that's what that's referring to. That there's going to be $10 more between digital and physical, which isn't true. That's not happening. This has been confirmed. It was a total and complete misrepresentation. It was a lie. The other lie was that the games weren't going to come on physical, that they were going to come with a digital code. Rather than you having the game on a physical cartridge, you were going to have to download it. And this was going to be the modus operandi for Nintendo going forward. That is a lie. And this has been confirmed by Nintendo Prime. It says, thank you for contacting my Nintendo store. Regarding your query, if you purchase a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of a game on a physical format, you will receive one cartridge with the upgrade already in it. So basically that means that if you buy the Switch 2 version, you're going to get one cartridge, the game's going to be on it, the upgrade's going to be on it. You're not going to have to download anything. And then it goes on to say, well, if you have the Switch 1 version, yes, you will have to download the code after you purchase it. Which makes total sense to me. Yeah, you don't get to rewrite your card to have the upgraded version. You're going to have to download that little bit of content. I mean, yeah, this is fairly basic to me. But all of the stuff was completely blown out of context. It was lied about. It was misrepresented. And that's what I take issue with more than anything. So, I mean, I could do an hour video on all of the lies that were told after the Switch 2 Direct. All of the bits of misinformation, the exaggerations. I mean, it was absolutely wild. Instead of focusing on that, instead what I want to do is I want to make an argument that no one else is currently making. And that is that the Switch 2 is the best value for money proposition of any of the consoles currently. And with the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's not even close. The PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't even have a disc drive. It doesn't even have a stand. Like, for what you get with the Nintendo Switch 2, it's night and day difference. So first of all, let's do a comparison between PlayStation and Nintendo as it relates to their online service. So the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion, the Nintendo Switch Premium, it's $50 a year. And you get access to all of this stuff, including the game consoles. You get the Splatoon, like for this one, you get the Splatoon 2 expansion. You get an Animal Crossing expansion, a Mario Kart expansion, which lets you know that they're going to be adding different expansions and probably Switch 2 bundles within the, expansion pack price. They've already confirmed that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will both get their upgrades for free. I heard that there was something, oh, you got to be a member for 2 years or something. I don't know about any of that, but I do know that Doug Bowser said that they will be free if you have Nintendo Switch Online. if you have that service. Let's go to PlayStation and let's do a price comparison because I think that price comparisons are important. So $50 for the Switch 2 NSO. You're not reading that incorrectly. This is the mid-tier for PlayStation. For 1 year, and by the way, this isn't the monthly cost. This is the 12-month cost. It's $134. If you want the premium one, if you want the top of the line one, it's $160 a year. $160 a year. Just really reflect on that the next time that somebody tries to talk to you about how egregious Nintendo's monetization is. You have to pay $160 if you want access to all these games. Like, you could go with the $135 version, but that's still pretty damn egregious. That's still pretty damn egregious. You get everything that Nintendo offers with their online for $50 a year. I think that's a pretty reasonable price point. Because everyone wants to talk about Nintendo greed, and there's no doubt they're a greedy company. But not to the extent of some of these others. And I don't know how Sony has been able to get away with this shit for so long without the type of pushback that we see from a $10 price increase. And oh, yeah, by the way, Mario Kart does get like a season pass, but they give it for free in the expansion. Yeah, and there are no microtransactions. I just throwing that out there. My point here is that if you are somebody that gets hyper fixated on pricing, I totally understand that. I have nothing against people who look at $80 and say that's too much money. What I want to do here is I want to show you how you can get Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games for $60 or thereabouts. So let's say you want Breath of the Wild for Switch 2, but you don't want to pay $70, right? What do? Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I mean, I own a copy of Breath of the Wild, but I'll tell you what I would do. I would go to eBay. I would look at what the current prices are for a brand new copy of Breath of the Wild. Like, oh, look at this guy here. $41 for Breath of the Wild or best offer, free delivery. This guy has really good reviews, brand new. Breath of the Wild authentic sealed. $41. Now, the reason why I show that to you is because it is confirmed that the upgrades will cost $10. You see what I'm getting at here? I mean, it's not optimal for some people. They just want the Switch 2 cartridge and they want one disc and they don't want to have to do anything. But you look at this, and it's a $10 increase. So you'd be paying $51 thereabout for a copy of Breath of the Wild. $51. And that's a brand new Breath of the Wild. It's not 70, it's 50. We can do this for any of the Switch 2 games. We can do this for any of the Switch 2 games. So let's look at Tears of the Kingdom Switch. Okay, 49, 45. This guy's got really good reviews. $5 delivery, so it'll be about the same here. This one does free returns, of course. You go down there, $49, free delivery. Pretty decent reviews. So even if you bought it at $50, right? This is $50. brand new, it's gonna be $60. So you're already saving money. Let's look at let's take a look. Let's look at Mario Kart. Let's look at Mario Kart, or I'm sorry, Mario Party Jamboree. Oh, okay. So this is brand new. It's pretty decent review. Oh, from Vietnam. Okay, maybe you don't want to get it from Vietnam. You going? Oh, here's one. Mario Party Jamboree. It's it says it's new other. So what's new other? Open case. All right. So maybe we'll look for one. Okay, right here. Brand new, $45, right? So with the $10 upgrade, it's going to be $55. My point in doing this is to just basically articulate that there are solutions for just about anything. And if you allow yourself to get angry and vengeful over something like this, and then cut off your nose to spite your face, and then feed into the clickbait and the rage bait from these slop tubers, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I think that if you look at this situation, it's very clear that it's not unreasonable. It may be that you're looking at the bigger picture, going, well, what does this mean for other games? But here's the dirty little secret. Games are going to go up in price. It has nothing to do with Trump's tariffs. It has nothing to do with any of that. These companies are losing money because they've all gone in with the DEI slop. They've all gone in and hired some of the most unprofessional, untalented people to make their products and to market their products. And there is no return on investment anymore. So unfortunately for them, they're going to have to be raising their prices in order to compensate. It's just going to have to be a reality. Now, you as the consumer are the ultimate, you are the ultimate wall. You are the ones that determine what the price of a product is going to be. Because these games for Switch 1 are already on the market, I trust in your ability to find a copy for much cheaper than what they're asking and then pay the $10 upgrade fee. The $10 upgrade fee, I think, is actually pretty reasonable. I was thinking it was going to be $20, and you know why I thought it was going to be $20? Because that was part of the lies and the misrepresentation about the Switch 2. Everyone was saying it's going to be a $20 upgrade. But it's $10. So you can upgrade your Breath of the Wild and your Tears of the Kingdom for $20. I think that's a pretty good value for money with the upgraded frame rate and graphics. I think it's a very good value for money. But my point in all of this is that, like, for example, let's look at Kirby and the Forgotten Land. All right, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. This one right now, from the same guy with the super high review, $43.50. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, brand new sealed, 43.50, $10, so that's $53. If you want the game, you can get the game, and you can get it cheaper than anywhere else. If you don't even care about the cartridge, there you go, $38. Oh, it's got a delivery fee. Scratch that. That's why it's important to look at this stuff. He's got good reviews, but $5 or $6 on a cartridge only. Nah. Now I'll look for I'll pay the little bit of extra more um, on the price because it evens out 0%. I probably wouldn't buy from that guy. Um, well, let's see here. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, brand new, pretty decent reviews. $28. It's still bidding. My point is, you can find these games for cheaper. You could use Facebook Marketplace, you could use eBay, you could use Amazon, you can use any of these places to sell these games to get them much cheaper. Buy the $10 upgrade and be fine. But I'm here to tell you, if you're upset about the price being $80, I would agree with you. But it's not worth to cut off your nose to spite your face. This sort of stuff can be worked out if you're low income. If you're looking to save money, if you want to save a bunch of dollars, this would be the way to do it. And so I don't think that the Switch 2 is cost prohibitive considering the other content on the market. And by the way, I'll end on this. My commentary about the Switch has irritated a lot of people, especially on Twitter. And what they do is they come back to me and they go, well, you can get a PlayStation 5 with a game for $399. And they actually linked it to me. It comes with a copy of Astro Boy. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. These people are actually trying to compare the Switch 2 with Mario Kart, like one of the most anticipated games. I can't wait for this game. With a digital only copy of the PlayStation 5 with Astro Boy. And thinking that these are the same value propositions. It's not even close. First of all, I want a disc. Of course I want a disc. Who the hell would buy a digital copy of a PlayStation 5? That's insane. So I'd have to spend another $70 on it, which is more than the cost of the Nintendo Switch, and then I have to buy a game because I don't want to play Astro Boy, and then I have to pay another $140 for the online service. And I want the classic collection, so it would be $140. With the Nintendo Switch 2, I can buy I can buy the console for $500. I get the Mario Kart game that I want. All right? I pay $50 for the online. Then I have hundreds of games that come with it, and I get all the online service and everything else they provide. And my Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are upgraded for me at no cost, right out the door. Yeah, I think that the Switch 2 is still better value for money. I think that it is pretty unreasonable what people are doing here. And I think they're doing it not really for Nintendo, but they just don't want all other games to be that price. And see, that's where I would agree with you. Like Mario Kart World, that game could be $100. I mean, we both know it. It's going to be quality. It's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be updates and new characters and stuff given for free. We know that because that's what they did with Mario Kart 8. It's going to be a great value for money. But you understand that they're going to do the same shifty shit that they did with Assassin's Creed Shadows and try to do tiers where the base game is, $80 and then it's $120 and then it's like $170. You know that that's what they're going to do because that's what they've already done. Nintendo has never done that. Nintendo has never done any of the greedy, despicable stuff that like Ubisoft has done with their games. What they did with Assassin's Creed Shadows and what they did with what was it called? I can barely even remember the name. Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, they do this really terrible tiered thing. That's egregious and absolutely terrible. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you want your Switch 2 games for less than $60, You can buy them brand new on eBay, Amazon. You can find them out there. Facebook Marketplace if you have to. Just be cautious and then pay the $10 upgrade. If you're hurt for cash and you want to play these games, that's my recommendation. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Let's see you next time.